Hey everyone. So here's a problem I have, and I think you might too. So LLMs are spitting out markdown files left and right, right? So be it documentation, notes, specs, you name it. And every time I get one, I'm either reading the raw markdown file in a text editor, or I might be using or opening some heavy app to preview it. Like a lot of time I use a Visual Studio Code, right? And Visual Studio Code can also render markdown, but you may not want to use such heavy apps to render markdown every time and then finding it online. I have seen previews but not a best one, so I built this, and I built this in probably like half an hour or so. I built a very dead simple beautiful markdown viewer, and you can basically just drag and drop your .md or basically markdown files, and they render instantly in the browser. No server, no build step, no frameworks. Just open it and it works. Okay. The best part, the entire app is just three tiny files, as you can see here. It's by the way, the GitHub is public, so you can GitHub repo is public, so you can come and look at the code. You can use it as well. I'll show you, because this entire app is very basically very tiny files, and it handles multiple documents with tabs, code syntax, highlighting, tables, images, everything that a markdown can have. Okay, so let me walk you through how it works file by file. So just before we dive into the code, there's basically no architecture of it, right? So basically there's a single HTML page that loads three CDN libraries, one JavaScript file, that's it. Let's actually open VS Code and let's see the code. Okay. Uh, okay, here's the VS Code. And so basically the just to start with, so there are let me open the index file, index.html. Let me increase the size a little bit so that you can see it better. Yeah. So there are three libraries. We basically load three CDN libraries. Marked.js, which basically parses Markdown into HTML. Then there's highlight.js, which adds syntax highlighting to code blocks. And then there's also DOMPurify. So DOMPurify actually sanitizes the HTML so we don't accidentally render any malicious content, right? So everything else is basically vanilla HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. No React, no Vue, no build step. You can literally double click the HTML file and it works. Okay, so just starting with the HTML, the skeleton, nothing fancy. It just sets up the structure. We got these three CDN libraries loaded from Cloudflare. Our CSS and JavaScript file simple. Body has three sections. The header section, just a title and tagline, nothing fancy. Then there's the upload section. So I'll actually show you the app next as well. So there's the upload section. This is the interesting part. There's a drop zone with a file upload icon. Some text saying drag and drop, browse files button, and a note about limits. So when you actually want to do uploads, you need to set some limits. So that's a good practice. So there are basically two kind of limits. First of all is in the number of files that people can upload, and there's also on size. So there's also a hidden file input that gets triggered by the browse button. An error message div that's hidden by default. So error message, you don't actually get to see it. Okay, so it's hidden by default. Third, the viewer section. So this is initially this is hidden, the actual viewer part, but then it has a tabs container at the top for when you upload multiple files. So I have actually provided the option to upload multiple files, though I have limited the number to 3. It can be increased as well, but for now I have kind of restricted it to 3 files at most. So it has tabs container, as I said, right? So when you upload multiple files, you can see it as tabs, as you can see in browsers. A clear all button is also there, so that the content area where the rendered markdown appears, that can be cleared. So that's all. That's the entire HTML part, nothing else. Okay, so very easy. Then style.css, again, not much. I do not wanted to do any fancy styling, because like this is a minimalistic thing that I wanted to do. There's a lot like just vanilla JS apps fall flat, so like it should be slightly warm. I just wanted to give a creamy palette. That's all. Like not much to it. Okay. So the upload zone has a dashed border, by the way. So there are small couple of small things that you can think like just simple decisions that you can take, and it's not mandatory. It's just like something that you kind of carry on with whatever projects that you do. Some of these things basically you kind of drag down. So the upload zone has a dashed border that turns solid and changes color just when you hover or drag a file over it. So this is a simple scale animation, so that you kind of get a feel that you can drop the files here, right? So you do this kind of animations. Then the tabs are styled like just browser tabs, flat with a bottom border. So that's all. They scroll horizontally if you have too many, with the scroll bar hidden for a cleaner look. Okay. And the markdown content area is a max height, and we basically do a scrolling. It can scroll independently. All these tabs can scroll independently. Okay. The rendered markdown, each gets its own set of styles. Headings have bottom borders. Block quotes get a left border with a background. Code block gets a subtle background with a border, and so on. It's minimal, but it still should look polished and professional. That's the main goal. Okay. And there's a JavaScript file. Again, not much, but at the top we basically define our limits, like the size, the file size, the total file size, and the maximum number of files. As I initially told you, like 3 files at max. And then later we basically set up the mark.js setup. As I said, like we use mark.js as something to parse the markdown files. So we configure Mark to support GitHub-flavored Markdown line breaks. We look in highlight.js for code syntax highlighting. And we also do some error handling, simple show error. Nothing too fancy, just a function that sets the error message, takes, shows the error div, and auto hides it after some seconds, 5 seconds. Again, no fancy toast or something like that. Okay. There's a file validation. File validation function basically checks 3 things: you didn't select more than 3 files or not, whether no single file is over 5 MB, and the total size of all files doesn't exceed 15 MB. So that's, again, that comes from these limits that I wanted to set. And this is, by the way, uh, like I am setting these limits, right? So it's not like you have to abide by that, but yeah, for me, like it's enough. Like most of the markdown files I deal with is hardly like few KB, right? Like 10, 20, 30 KB files. So usually that's good for me. And then this function, read file function. And so this function is basically wraps the file reader API in a promise. So we can use it with basically an async await kind of a thing. And it reads the file as text, return as an object with file name and content. Okay. And then rendering, this render markdown function, just 2 lines, pass the markdown with marked. So we are already using a library. We sanitize it and with DOMPurify, and that's all. So DOMPurify strips out any potentially dangerous HTML part, like if there is a script tag or like anything that we may not want. And then yeah, apart from that, this is pretty easy. Yeah, the build tabs, again, tab management. So basically I wanted to have like a tab container, and each tab is basically a button with file name as its label. So basically whatever file name we have, it basically give it that. The active tab gets an active class. And yeah, the main handler handle files. So this is the main handler, and this is basically the orchestrator for all these functions. So it filters the uploaded files so that it only accepts Markdown extensions, validates them, read them all in parallel with promise.all, and then just switches to the viewer mode. Okay. Yeah. So not much to showcase. So yeah, rest of it is pretty easy. Now, so I have already pushed this in GitHub, and since it's static file site, I have already deployed it in GitHub pages. So if you just go into here, you can see Saurabh15mukherjee.github.io, Markdown Live Markdown Live View. Here you can actually see this Markdown Viewer. As I said, very minimalistic design. It just needs to do what it needs to do, right? And you can see this animation here. Whenever I hover over it, you get to see this animation. So just let's check whether it works or not. Browse files. There's this one. Let me try to open where there's at least some. So some of my project actually had much more. Yeah, I have a lot of promotion guide and a lot of things created. So as I said, I can use 3 files, maximum 3 files. If I do open, yeah, you see how fast it is, right? There are just these 3 tabs basically, because like all these 3 files get each of these files get 1 tab each, and it's rendered wonderfully. Like these are MD files, and yeah, you can see it's great, right? So all like code parts, code snippets are properly formatted. The table is properly formatted, so everything is very properly formatted, and is like bold, and like actual headers and everything is obviously like much easier. But yeah, so this is very easy. It's not like a very hard thing. And by the way, you can, since it's very static files, and so you can just see this is, yeah, here it's there. So you can also run it with Python, say minus m http.server 8000. So basically you can run it locally as well. If I just do it, it will basically start it locally, right? So yeah, I can do it, and it's serving http on local 8000. So yeah, if I just do local 8000, I can see it over here. So this is basically running it locally. But yeah, I've just uploaded it in GitHub so that other people can use it as well. Or you can just come and see the actual repo as well. If you are basically learning to work on small, simple projects, this is a very simple project that you can start with. Very easy, and at the same time, it will teach you basically how to basically think about a project and work a project. And it is something very useful for me, because again, as I said, right now we are working with LLMs all the time, and LLMs basically, like every time you say you ask it to save anything, it kind of spits out a markdown file. And everyone may not use Visual Studio Code or a rendering app. So yeah, this is an easy way to basically view whatever you want to, right? So yeah, that's it. Hope you guys learned something out of it. See you guys soon. Bye bye.